it's Lisa. The last 2 years in the summer, I've done a video at the beginning of the summer on all the stuff in my stash that I want to use. It's not summer yet, of course, but I've decided to move some things out of my scrap room. This is not consumable stash. These are mainly stamp sets that I've had for quite a while. Some of them I paid full price for with Stamping Up or other sources. Some of them I bought, yard sale kind of things. I got some at the Goodwill store really cheap, and a few things that were passed along to me, and I want to kind of use it and move it. I'm ready to make a little bit more space in my room, and I realize that I'm just not using these things a lot. This is a really cute little Stamping Up set that I've had for quite some time. It even has what was a wheel, and I converted it to just a single stamp that goes along with it. It's a really neat little set, and it makes pretty cards, but I've made a few over the years, and I probably haven't used this in 2 or 3 years. I'm going to make a few cards for my card stash, and then it's ready to go out the door. Some of these things I'll probably sell on eBay, or I may put them on my Etsy shop. I may do a giveaway with some of the stuff at the end. I'm not sure what will happen to these, but the idea is to use it and move it out so that I can have some space. And I'm so committed to this that when I got the things out a few days ago, I was originally going to get them out and make a list of them or make a photograph of them and put them up here in front of my work area so I would remember to use them. I decided I would remember them better if I put them all in one place. And once I put them all in one place, my goal was to create some additional space where my stamps are stored and kind of condense things. I went ahead and did that. I spent all weekend rearranging a lot of my storage space just because I had moved out a whole bunch of stamps. And I'm going to show you a little video of all of the stuff that I found that I want to move out. So let's take a look at that now.
So these are stamp sets, as I say, some I bought and I've acquired lots of different ways. You'll be seeing some of these coming along. There's a little one that I got in a kit one time. The Pretties kit, we'll see that in just a moment. And I also have some consumables. These white papers, it's hard to see in the video, but these are the kinds of things where you add mist and it changes the color or changes the pattern. Then I have a bunch of cardstock. This is paper tray ink cardstock that I'm not adding more to, and I have a lot of Stamping Up discontinued colors that I want to use as well.
So you can see I've got a lot of stamp sets. I've got some paper that I want to condense. The paper is still in its original normal storage location, but the stamp sets are now located in my carry thing that I take with me when I go off to my best friend's house, or if I have somewhere else that I'm going to do scrapping or card making or whatever. And so I've got several things in here that you saw in the video, and I want to utilize these items over the next few weeks to make some cards, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Is I'm going to make a card using this really cute stamp set from Stamping Up called Spring Solitude, and I won't videotape all my cards. We'll just do some here and there to show you some ways that I'm using these stamps and moving them out. I did go ahead and make a card. This was one of the things that was photographed. This is the Pretties kit from Stamping Up, and it had a lot of these little things, like these little beads, were to go on stick pens, and the pens had a little end and stuff, and I could probably go to the craft store and buy more pens like that, but I just didn't use them that much. So what I really want to do with this is break this down and put it in my mixed media, but I thought, before I do, let me see if I want to make any more cards with it. So I made a birthday card. I used some jelly prints. That was another thing I kind of wanted to use, with some of my extra jelly prints that I've made, and I used a few things out of the Pretties kit, some extra paper that I had. This was a piece of cardstock that I was going to throw away, real thin cardstock, and it turned into an envelope. So I was really pleased with my recycling efforts in making a pretty birthday card. So the Pretties kit, actually, at this point, I could probably go ahead and break this down and put it in the mixed media kit, and I don't know, I may leave it in the basket for a little while, but pretty soon it's going to find some other use. So I need some thank you cards. I am running really, really low on thank you cards, and I have a couple of sets for thank you. I have the Spring Solitude set that happens to have thank you in it, although they could be birthday cards or lots of other things. And I have this set from Simon Says Stamp. You can do anything. I think I won this as blog candy somewhere along the way. I did not purchase it. This is not, it's a nice set, but it's not one that I would purchase because I just wouldn't use it that much, and I haven't used it very much. So I'm going to use a couple of these, and then I'll be ready to move that on out. I also have some jelly prints here that I pulled out. That was one of the things I wanted to make room for, was organizing my jelly prints a little bit better by color. So I have a few here that I pulled out that I think will work well with some of these. So let's see what I can do with some of these stamp sets and making some cards. Okay, so I sketched out a quick design for my card. This will be the area where this design goes. I'm going to use this stamp, the greeting, and then this paper back here in the background, and I have several inks laid out. This is chartreuse cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. I have a lot of this, so you probably see it quite a bit for backgrounds, but I thought it would go nicely with this yellow. So I need to cut this down, and I also have this out here for a mat inside for this strip. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this down and get it ready to do some stamping directly on with this design and some of these colors, and we'll kind of fast forward through the card.
I'm starting with that long stamp that used to be a wheel that I unmounted. Now that I'm doing mixed media, I kind of wish I'd left them as wheels. But anyway, in fact, I'd probably keep this if that were the case, but it just, as a stamp, I don't tend to remember that I have it unless it's with this particular stamp set. Now that was Kiwi Kiss ink, and I'm using some of my other inks, some Baja Breeze and one of the greens there, to put one of these smaller flowers on the jelly print. And I really wish I had re-inked the ink pads before I did this card. Right after I did this card, I went through and re-inked all my Stampin' Up! Ink pads. I had also just placed an order from Stampin' Up!, so it would have been nice to have gotten those inks, as a few more inks. But mostly I have the ones that I need. I'm also finding that, like here, I was trying to use a brown ink from Stampin' Up! I really just prefer the archival inks wherever I can, because they work on all kinds of different surfaces. This paint of the jelly plate works really well with the archival inks. I can use them in my mixed media, and I can put things over them, and I don't have to worry about them smearing. So I really like those. Now what I'm doing here is stamping an envelope with one of the stamps from this set. I like doing that, I just don't remember to do it, and if I don't do it when I'm making the card, it doesn't happen. So I've got my little border here that's going to go kind of in the middle of the card, and I'm just going to glue that on and then trim it off manually. And using the jelly print gives it kind of a fun background. Of course, you could use pattern paper. And I did feel like I needed a little bit more there, and I'm going to add some enamel dots to the front of this. I don't want to make it real thick and difficult to mail, but we'll just put a few little enamel dots. These are some I bought real cheap at Michael's one time, and I want to make sure, since it's a card, they're going to stay put, not get lost somewhere in my handling of the card or in mailing, and so I'm adding a little bit of glue to them. And I do show 3 the same size, but I'm going to switch that out to one of those to a smaller enamel dot, as you'll see in the finished card coming up here in a moment. So here is the finished card and envelope. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you'll come back again, as I'm hoping to do more card videos along with my regular scrapbooking process videos this year. Thanks again.